welcome back to another episode of me talking in the car with another white shirt on. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I woke up feeling. So I had a lot on my heart and in my mind this morning, and it all stemmed from this weird fucking dream that I had where it was one of my ex-partners, and mind you, this partner was probably like the worst out of any I had dated, and thankfully it was short-lived, and the lessons that I learned were plentiful. But apart from that, it was just like this person in my dream, and he had also gone through something traumatic that I had gone through, and so we bonded over this sort of situation. And like I remember in the dream that I was still so like, oh, I was enchanted by this person, and I felt even worse about it because of the thing that we had gone through that we bonded over. But then I remember in the dream where I think he was trying to rekindle our relationship, and I was just like, no, dude, like, no, it's not happening. And I woke up and I was like, wow, like this is not like something that I would have seen in another dream, like had it happened like years ago. But I woke up feeling a couple different things. I woke up feeling very proud that in my dream I like stuck to my guns. And I also was kind of sad because I was remembering the people who were still in my life at that time, other than him, that are not in my life anymore. And it just it prompted me to want to talk about it a little bit, because I feel like if you're over the age of 30 or even like 27, um, I feel like you're going to have lost some friends that you maybe thought you were going to be friends with forever. And I still think about these people from time to time, and I hope that they're doing well. I just know that when I made the choice to extricate them from my life, essentially, it was because there was more than one thing that I saw that wasn't contributing to the greater good, and not just the greater good of like our friendship or my life, but like the greater good in general of like the world. And you know at the basis of it, it was just like, well, okay, like we had been friends for a really long time, but when I think back to what started our friendship, it made me realize that it wasn't healthy, like the way that it had started out. And I was just so preoccupied in wanting to be a good friend and to have friends, because I really didn't have that many. And the way that it ended up going on for years, like, yes, we did build a very close friendship, but it was based on a lot of codependency and a lot of um, emotional trauma and just all the things that come with, growing up, plus like the things that we both didn't know that we had from our like childhoods that we have taken with us into adulthood. Um, but all that to say, like, it just made me realize how happy I was that I don't have these people in my life anymore. And sometimes it's sad to think about, but by the same token, I'm just like, I can't go back to the time that we spent together. I can't go back in time at all. And I think about the things that I learned from, having these people in my life, and just how much time that I spent people pleasing as somebody who is a recovering people pleaser. I still struggle with it from time to time now, but I'm much, much better at at detaching when I see that something is not healthy or it doesn't align with, my life and my values now. So it was a good lesson. A lot of the people that I had been with that I consider life lessons, and not in a bad way, because had I not learned these lessons, I'd be in a shittier place now. Um, but after finding my voice, after like realizing who actually was good for me and wanted actual good for me and wasn't like projecting insecurities or like jealousy, it was life changing, to say the least. How different I saw the world, how much easier it was for me to pick out those things when I would meet people. It was just like, oh, this person is just monitoring me. Like, they're just trying to keep tabs on what's going on in my life. Like, there's no no mutual connection, apart from transactional. um, it made me really appreciate where I am in life now, despite all of the hardships and things that, like all this hard earned wisdom, like it fucking sucks being this wise sometimes, like when you're 33. But, I meet people who are older than me who obviously have been through more time. Like, they're older, so they've experienced a lot of different things in their lives. But the things that they share and the things that they bring up when I share these things with them, they're just like, be grateful that you learned it now and not when you're my age. So they're like up in, like 60s, 70s, 80s. And they're just like, some people never learn. Some people never progress in life. Like, they just stay in their comfort zone and they do the same exact things every 6 months of their lives until they die. And it just made me realize even more that having the wisdom that I do now at my age helps me be able to help more people. And I treasure the moments where I get to have like a deep philosophical talk with a friend, right after we're like laughing about something silly, But it just makes me realize how sheltered I was as well, growing up, and, always believing that my parents always knew best. And after growing up and realizing that, now when you have this frame of mind, it's really hard to listen to people who effectively don't know what they're talking about by way of like coaching. So it's like, oh, do this, do that, but I didn't do it at all, so I don't really, like, I'm not really qualified to tell you what to do, essentially. It's just like a lot of the people that I look up to now are people who have accomplished the things that I want to do in my life. And, I think it is something worth reflecting on when you think about, the type of person that you are now, who you used to be, and who you want to be. And if you're getting closer and you're making better choices for yourself, and you are enforcing boundaries and effectively just being a better person to yourself, that, like, the lessons that you learned were not in vain, and the hard shit that you went through, it wasn't for nothing. So yeah. I hope you guys take a second to reflect on something good that happened to you and something you're grateful for. And this is my like little tidbit of wisdom for the day. So have a good one.